Hi guys, my name is Geier of Mint & Rare in Vienna. Welcome to our new video. Today I would like to talk about some Leicaflex models of Leitz, which started its production in 1964. But first of all, I would like to mention a few years before. There was the introduction of the 35mm SLR camera, which was around 1936, and the most common theory is that IHG and Exacta was the first camera, while others say the sport camera from the former USSR was the first SLR camera. After that significant point in camera history was the introduction of the Nikon F, which was in 1959, which was maybe the biggest opponent to Leitz at the time, and maybe that's why they thought about getting into SLR cameras. And after that, in 1963, Topcon, another Japanese camera manufacturer, invented the TTL through the lens light metering system, which Leitz hadn't at the beginning in the very first camera, the Leicaflex Standard, with the external light metering, as was the first Nikon F as well. So starting there, I would like to show you the very first model, which was the Leicaflex Standard, here in a black paint finish, which is quite rare. They made it in two different versions and in black, in a series of 1000 pieces each of these two series. And the most distinct difference would be that the second version shown here has a round frame around the film counter window, and the first type had a banana or pie shaped, as they call it, frame counter window, which is a bit more rare, and of course extremely rare in such a beautiful condition, as they were never meant to be collector's items. They were items which were intended for professional use, and to find a camera in this condition is pretty rare today. And here, to show you a small detail as well, the camera has a black bayonet mount and the lens has only one cam. I'll show you the difference in a second, what that means. So this is the first model here. After that, we have the second model, which already has TTL light metering built into the camera. This was made in 1970, so 7 years after Topcon already introduced TTL light metering, so Leitz was a bit slow here. The biggest difference is of course the TTL metering, and now the lenses need two cams here, of which one activates the exposure meter inside, so it works pretty well. You can attach a one cam lens onto the Leicaflex SL, but the exposure meter won't work, so you need that two cam lens for that SL camera. The SL was also produced in a black paint finish. The exact numbers are unfortunately uncertain. There are no records for black paint cameras. It was also the first time Leitz mass or series produced the motor cameras. There were some prototypes for the Leicaflex Standard, but it was introduced with the SL MOT here, also in a black paint finish and also in beautiful condition, and now already with the contacts for the motor drive, and I'm going to attach that here right now so you can see how that looks. It's not as compact as one would think. It weighs almost a ton, but looks pretty interesting. What's a nice match here is that Ingenieur f2.8 45 to 90mm zoom was the first commercially produced zoom lens for the Leicaflex system, and this was also made in a black paint finish. That's quite a nice match for a professional setup like that, to have that zoom lens as well. The motor drive has a switch on the back, which is R for rewind, or Rückspulung in German, E for Einzel, single, or S for series exposures. So there are two different modes, and it has a connection here for release or synchronization of two cameras as well. Last but not least, a very nice Leicaflex SL2, which was the last in the series of fully mechanical cameras of the Leicaflex system. It has a very nice viewfinder actually, and a bright screen where you can focus pretty easily. It's a split image screen here as a plain screen in the previous Leicaflex models, but unfortunately you can't interchange that. You could maybe interchange it within the factory. Only the exposure meter needs the battery, so it will work in the desert, in the rain, in the cold, wherever you are. If you can guess the correct exposure, the shutter, the camera will do the rest. The black paint on the early models were only until the SL MOT, which is maybe the most rare, because numbers are quite unknown, but of the SL MOT camera there are only just above 1000 cameras made, and only a fraction of that was produced in black paint for sure, but there is no batch known. The paint structure is very similar, but not similar, it's identical to the Leica M series of 1970, and I can show you that on this beautiful M4 black paint that we brought here today. The same structure. This example here is pretty unused, so the finish is a bit more matte than a camera which has been used, which is more shiny, which comes from finger fat, frequent use, while this has never been used. The serial numbers are approximately 10,000 numbers only away from each other, and the paint is exactly the same. For me, the Leicaflex models all in all are very much underrated and also undervalued at some point, especially the black paint cameras, which are much more rare than most of the M cameras. Because if you think about the Leicaflex Standard here with just 1000 pieces produced, and an M4 where more than 5000 pieces have been produced, yeah, very undervalued in my opinion, and definitely worth having a look at all the Leicaflex models. That's it for now. If you should have any questions, let us know in the comments, write us an email, give us a call. If you like our videos, please share our videos, like, subscribe to our channel. If you're no subscriber right now, share it with your friends. We would like to grow that channel organically, so it can grow without buying any clicks or whatever. So share it with your friends. Give us some feedback if you like, and see you next time. Thank you. Stay healthy.